All these rumors are fun to talk about. And Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargent's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying.
Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructor's battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Steven, Jason, and Tristan. Today we're going to get into all of the headlines from this past week, and then the much-awaited 2025 season predictions before testing even starts. So this could be completely wrong. Who knows? Maybe Aston Martin is secretly good this year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We'll see about that.
Let's start with our headlines as always. I want to talk about the F1 movie because I am actually so pissed off, thoroughly pissed off.
Tell me how you feel.
You're telling me you didn't want an F1 Hallmark movie?
I didn't want an F1 love movie because I think it sets back the sport 50 freaking years.
No, I agree. I agree.
I just watched another podcast with Callum Nicholas, who's a mechanic at Red Bull, and he was talking about how when he got with his now wife, they had to hide it because it was literally in her contract that should she get with someone else in the paddock, she'd be fired.
Yeah,
Dang.
I mean, that typically is a thing.
That does happen.
It's a thing, but it's more a thing for women than it is for men. He was saying, I very well could have walked into the garage and told all of my buddies that I was now dating this girl, and they would pat me in the back and say congratulations.
Yeah.
But if a woman did that, then she'd be seen negatively because she's dating someone in the paddock, and the whole notion of you sleep your way up or whatever. The fact that they made this storyline the love interest be a female race engineer, which first of all, the first female race engineer in F1 is this year. So I think it's just so weird.
Is that the girl's role in the movie?
Apparently
really?
she's supposed to be a female race engineer, and so he's gonna get with her. I just don't like it. I think it's so
it's a bit cheesy.
It's cheesy. It's just not productive. Why did you have to do that? You could have been a fan. It could have been a childhood friend. It could have been anyone but someone in the paddock. It's so cringy the fact that a driver has to get with someone in the paddock. None of the drivers are currently dating someone from in the paddock.
No.
Yeah.
So, maybe Fernando is, but other than that,
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know this about Fernando.
Yeah, he's dating a reporter,
Oh, that's what happened with Grosjean. He met his wife. She was a reporter in F2, believe it or not, before he even...
Kelly Piquet was she did social media in F2. She's a PR manager. I don't know if that's where Max and her met, but...
Or Susie Williams, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, not Susie Williams.
Susie Wolf.
Susie Wolf.
Yeah. They probably meant that. But they're on, I don't want to say equal footing, but they're both higher.
They've both been drivers. They both met.
Exactly.
Actually, Susie's probably a better driver than Toto.
Oh, absolutely.
Career-wise, she got way farther than Toto did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How far did Toto get?
Well, Susie got up to reserve and test driver, legitimately.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Toto, he kind of stalled out because he didn't start early, and he paid his way to fund his own team in lower level GT racing. So he never went beyond that because he knew that he didn't have the skill. So he never did.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what everybody else thinks about them. I think they kind of lost a lot of F1 fans with this new teaser because it's I don't want to watch a love story. I was wanting to watch an F1 movie. You don't need a love story to make it a good movie.
Yeah.
It's true.
It doesn't have to be a romance.
There is also, you could argue in the movie industry, almost every single plot needs to have some sort of romantic interest.
For sure.
It's always and also I will argue there is, within recent memory, the Senna documentary and stuff like that, we have seen a lot of critical analysis, more like research, bibliography type content when it comes to biopic type content when it comes to Formula One. And this is more of the first since... Well, you can't even say Rush because Rush was a realistic commentary of a real thing. This is probably the first since maybe the 80s of a romantic envision of Formula One because this is not real. It's not a real story.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're gonna lose a lot of money with this film.
You think so?
I'm actually
excited for it.
I think they're
What's
gonna
so
lose
cool
a lot
is
of
how
money with
real
this
it's
film.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw
because of how real it is.
Yeah, we saw the filming throughout the season.
It's literally called the F1 movie with real drivers, real podiums, real tracks, real cars.
But does that not get cringy for you?
No,
it can.
Not really.
Is
no.
that not weird for you? That,
I need to watch it first.
Brad Pitt didn't freaking win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
But
yeah.
you
You know what I'm
can.
saying?
I would rather it be this way because, for me, the opposite is more cringy. I'd be more cringed if they had fake drivers with fake teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Yeah, it does seem cringy and
Like-
forced because everybody knows the red team is trying to
Right.
articulate it's Ferrari. It's a
Yeah.
red Italian team. Nobody else is gonna think, oh, that's a random team
Yeah.
made it
Yeah.
up. They're trying
Like
to make it
the
Ferrari.
new Chad Powers movie. I hate how it's not Penn State and it's just some random team.
Yeah, I
You've
don't
no-
even know why they made that a movie.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't like when they do stuff like that.
But NASCAR has kind of done this in the past with, I mean, it's in an unironic way, but like Talladega Nights and Days of Thunder, 2 movies that were fictional tales of NASCAR, but included real life instances. I mean, Talladega Nights is a comedy, but like Dale Earnhardt Jr. was in it.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
used a lot of real cars and stuff like
Even
that.
Cars had.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah,
yeah,
Cars,
Go
yeah.
back to Cars.
Yeah.
In the weirdest
We
of
talked
ways.
about like that last week.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I understand the cringiness aspect of it, but I almost want to say it's a just wait and see. Maybe.
I think it is, but I do
Yeah.
think they're not gonna make money with this movie and the reason I say that is because they spent so much time developing
Wonder
what
the
is an
budget
F2
is.
car
It was so
Probably a
This
lot.
was,
expensive.
it's so expensive
Travel
and travel
and film
and
on real
and-
tracks during
exactly.
the race weekends.
So
Yeah.
The
and have
if you think about it,
budget,
drivers hang
the
around.
budget for this film was definitely like
it's reported
Top Gun
over
buff
300
budget.
million.
what was the budget for Top Gun Maverick?
Let's
This is all
see.
Apple's money too. This
Yeah.
is like Apple doing this.
Oh my God, it's almost double. So Top Gun
600?
Maverick was 170 to 177 million.
So that's what I'm saying.
budget.
They spent more than they did on Top Gun Maverick because again, I think
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise not working on this movie as well, or he was
I don't know.
supposed to.
You might be.
He was supposed to like help with the realistic aspects of it of like filming
Yeah.
on an with an F1 car rather like because
Well, so did Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with that's what he did with. But I think Lewis Hamilton was more the plot line.
I think
Was more like the racing aspects of it.
yeah.
I think Tom Cruise is more the technical aspect, like how do I film this being realistic? Because that's
Yeah.
what he cared about for Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. I think
So.
this movie will make money. I genuinely do believe that.
Yeah.
Will it make a lot? Like for example, Top Gun
might
grossed
break
I think it was
even.
like 1.5 billion in the box office. That's the ROI, the return on investment is so big there.
Yeah.
Obviously Top Gun though, a whole different can of worms.
Yeah.
You bring
Yeah.
back an iconic film. It was genuinely an amazing film.
That generally
I
probably
saw it
top 5
3
movies of all
times in
time, in my
theaters.
opinion.
Do you-
Yeah.
Me too. I watched that movie in 4D, and it was so
Oh my
cool.
God, I really wanted to do that or an IMAX.
I
I
watched
never
it
got the
both.
chance.
I watched it twice in IMAX, once in 4D, and once regular.
Man. See, but that's a good question. I wonder if this movie, if they stayed true to the concepts of kind of like Top Gun, where they got the raw noise, you got like almost. I'm really excited for the intro to the movie. If they do something like Top Gun, where
Yeah.
Top Gun put us on the aircraft carrier
Yeah.
for the first minute, all we hear is the noise. We see the planes taking off. Imagine the intro to the F1 movie.
Yeah.
That song is so
Just like
iconic.
turnkey, the F1 cars hauling ass down the straightaway, stuff like that.
It's
I would get
cool-
hype.
I
It's
would get hyped.
the
Yeah.
F1 movie.
Yeah.
It's not like what is it? The last movie that had to skirt around this that I remember include racing was Art of Racing in the Rain. Like I think in the book, the main character is in Formula One, but
Yeah.
you can't really say it. And obviously, while filming it, they couldn't film cars that faked being F1
Well,
cars.
that's
They filmed
probably,
GT cars. They had to alter kind of the plot. of it.
Right.
That's probably half the reason that the budget for this film is so high.
Yeah.
Because you have
That's the
to
licensing.
skirt so many licensing
Tons
like
of licensing, yeah.
agreements. Not to mention like okay,
teams and their
99%.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
Like
just getting
Red
Red Bull into
That's
the
what I was
movie.
gonna say. Red Bull
is- yeah.
corporate has to agree to the script, probably the script and the plot of this movie.
The usage of their
The
cars.
usage of their cars and
Yep.
their sponsors. Then any cars that are in there, any of the sponsors on the cars also have to agree.
Yep.
Yep.
Not that they're going to pay these sponsors, but they have some type of agreement with it,
Yeah.
Yep.
licensing wise. Because again, if this movie is a giant flop, or if this movie somehow like, I don't think it would, but if it somehow got very very negative rep,
Yeah.
then that affects all of the sponsors and all of the cars and all of the
Right.
Like
teams
is
that are-
like
true.
Christian
big
Horner in
gamble.
it? Like is
So-
Total Wolf in it? I know
we know
Jarvis
Gunther's
is
in it.
we know Gunther's in
Yeah,
it.
Gunther's in it.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
even
I mean,
an F1 anymore.
Don't you all think? I think this could have a same sort of effect as like the Maverick franchise has had or Top Gun franchise has had. I think you
I
get the
don't
guys
know.
coming from oh gosh, Drive to Survive. Going into this movie, I think people are gonna lose their minds over it. I
I
really
don't
do.
think so.
Wait, is
There
Danny
is a
Ricciardo in it?
potential.
But we'll see.
Oh, I would be willing to bet he is. Yeah.
At some point.
Probably
I'm
somewhere.
willing to bet the Drive to Survive crowd will give this movie the crowd.
Yeah, the
you know
super
what I mean?
fans, it'll feel
Absolutely.
weird
Yeah.
like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I think-
casuals,
The
and
casuals.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the casuals will go see it. I
Yeah.
don't know that it's I think the reason, like we were talking about Top Gun Maverick, the reason that grossed so high was because people went to see it like us 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's going to be the case with this movie because I think the casual fans are going to like it, maybe even love it. Maybe a couple of them are going to go see it multiple times. But I think the F1, the true Formula One fans, at some level are going to find it a little cringe.
Yeah. Well,
and they're not going to, like, they might rewatch it later, but they're not going to pay to go see it again in theaters, I don't know, in my opinion.
Do we think that this movie is really targeted for the true F1 fans, though?
No.
That's a good question.
That's
what I don't
think.
I don't
think
money?
Like Drive to Survive.
But how do you make money? Nobody knows. Like, me and Tristan did Man on the Street.
Nobody knows what the DRS is. Like, the DRS might not even be in the movie.
No, but what I'm saying is...
They have the nitrous button.
Me and Tristan did Man on the Street.
Turn into overdrive, buddy. Pressing a button.
Me and Tristan did Man on the Street, and we were talking about... we were asking people what celebrities they thought would make good F1 drivers. We mentioned that, like, after we'd film, like, oh, there's an F1 movie coming out with Brad Pitt. Nobody knew it was coming out. Nobody's ever heard of this.
Yeah.
So they're marketing it to F1 fans, right? They're marketing it to DTS fans. So realistically, if you're not targeting F1 fans, then who's your audience? Who's going to watch this movie besides the casual F1 fans and the real F1 fans? You can't piss the real F1 fans off.
It could be a drama movie. Like, I would watch a movie...
I wouldn't go to
It's
theaters
like
to watch
drama,
a romance
thriller.
F1 movie, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be
Because I can't
romance.
watch... It is a romance.
No, it
It's
isn't.
going to have it
That's
involved.
half the trailer.
Yeah.
I cannot watch, like... I've read
It's like a
2
sports
books.
I hope it's not. I'm praying.
I've read 2 books with that are like have motorsports like F1 plots, like romance novels. I only liked one of them. The other one was really bad.
Yeah.
It was very bad.
Maverick is also a
So-
tough comparison because, for example, Maverick actually got people like my grandfather to go see the movie.
Yeah,
Because there's
historical
first of all
significance.
the notoriety, and second of all, he was in the Navy. Like he was backseat navigator on fighter jets,
That's so cool.
and he got like emotional in terms of like he saw the original movie, but also he lived it.
Yeah.
And a lot of like again, if you can compare, it's a very like almost actually strange comparison, but it feels right. Compare those service members to the F1 super fans, the people like and stuff like that. The people that know how an aircraft carrier operates. They know how this fighting scene with a Maverick or Top Gun, it should interact this way, and they liked it. Even though Top Gun is, they did a really good job. It's a very realistic movie.
Very realistic.
But it was romanticized, and it was dramatic, and it was play on, like, blah. And F1's going to be just like that, right? I think we might have that same sense of feeling as like, sure, we're going into this movie skeptical, like it's going to be dramatized, blah, blah, blah. But maybe we'll love it, even as super fans.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I like Drive to Survive.
Yeah, again, I think we can all casually agree that Drive to Survive is fun. It's cool.
It's funny,
Yeah. For what it is. For what it is.
But I take it at its worth.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the real season. My problem with, and like this is where the DTS fans stigma comes from, is like my problem with Drive to Survive is if you're trying to attract non-F1 fans and they come into the sport after watching Drive to Survive, they think Max is an asshole, Charles Leclerc is like this cute like sexy guy, Danny Ricciardo is like head of the sport, not even in it anymore. Like they have all these these assumptions or stereotypes that come from Drive to Survive that aren't true whatsoever.
Well, it's not Life in the Fast Lane with Austin Dillon.
Anyways,
it's not PRP.
Let's move on because I want to give us enough time for predictions. I want to talk about the different race suits that have come out this week, but then also the Haas car that got leaked.
I actually didn't see this. I'll have to look it up.
This is really funny to me because it's not like it was Jason was talking about. It's not like it was like sent. It was not like a picture through the fence. That looks like the main straight.
Yeah.
It's like someone inside.
I see it here.
Oh,
it's a pretty car.
And it is. I do like the car.
like the
It is
car.
different.
Yeah.
It's not like it's unless they did something similar to McLaren where they had like a testing livery.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look
No,
like
it
a
looks
testing
real.
But it
livery.
doesn't
looks
look like
real.
Tesla. It does
Because
look
they
real.
would have posted it. Like Alpine had a testing livery, they posted it. McLaren had one, they posted it. William had
Yeah.
a testing livery, they posted it.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like their 2025 livery
Yeah.
because they haven't mentioned it. I actually did a post yesterday of their old livery being like, oh, they're white, black, and red.
Yeah.
And they posted it, and everybody's like, well, we already saw the car.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny about the Haas car is like you can only change so much with the black, red, and white combo to make it look unique.
Yeah.
Right.
But they somehow do it every year. And yet, if you were a casual F1 fan and you watch year to year, you would know that that's the Haas car every year if you didn't even take like an in-depth look behind it, like how we do. Like we take a very in-depth look, like what these new liveries are going to look like, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. it's really interesting how Haas is able to complete that. But also, I'm looking at the livery here. I can't see any new sponsors. So like I don't know if they're.
I saw Palm
concerning.
Angels was gone.
Yeah.
And they have like one. It's like hidden behind the wheel. You can't
And it's
really
still
see.
Yeah,
it.
no, I see
I'll
that
get
there.
really
I don't know what
close.
it is though.
Are they
Yeah.
still sponsored by Chipotle?
I
That was a
think
hella. I love that
so.
sponsorship. It was
That was
so
like
funny.
a casual sponsor.
Yeah, they had like
Yeah,
an
but
F1 car go
They had like
through
an
the
F1
drive-thru.
car do the drive-through, and then they had
Yeah.
like Nico
I was
and Kevin like eat Chipotle, which was so funny. Like that was like a hilarious
I
video.
can't see on the livery. I don't.
So-
Well, no, that's the old cars from last year. Yeah, I
So-
can't tell.
Anyways, I also want to ask, Jason, how did you like the new Ferrari suits?
I think they look great. The merch looks really good. Like
bought merch yet?
total. No, I'm waiting for the Lewis Hamilton
I was
shirt.
gonna say, are you gonna buy
I almost
Louis?
bought the hat, but I said no because total misstep. Like 2020 with like the stripes, like
Yeah.
the tricolor.
I have
down.
that one.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. 2018, 2017, 18 was peak. Like look up the 2017 race suit. Like that looked so good.
I have.
And then since then they've
Yeah.
never been that good. This year we've returned to that. It's just a red suit with like white piping.
It's the best combo.
It looks
yeah, I'm
so
looking at
good.
this
Like the
now.
2017.
It's just gotta be
Putting
like,
black on the Ferrari suit is not right.
Yeah. So
No.
now that they
Yeah.
moved back to the white piping, like it looks so much
Yeah.
better.
I like it. I thought it looked really nice. I also like how vibrant the two the two helmets are.
It's so good.
So it like really pops. Like I really like Lewis's helmet. I like that he's going back to the yellow. Like he's been like that purple, like dark. I don't feel like that matches the red suits at all. Like I feel like it had to be something really vibrant.
I feel like I'm maybe not on an island on this one, but I always thought the 2007 suits were awesome because they have the little Italian
For
flag
Ferrari?
that goes down. Yeah, they're the ones though when Marlboro was like kind of they had their problems. They couldn't like put their actual logo on.
I
the
know.
car.
I don't like it either. I don't feel like the
Oh, but
tricolor down the middle.
I like that though.
On the
Alright,
side.
I will say, with like the HP logo, it's kind of throwing me off.
Oh, that's always going to be a thing though.
I
you
don't
Yeah.
know?
I don't love them, but I don't hate them. The 2007
Yeah.
suits. I don't know.
This
I
would
miss
be a-
the days
This
of
would be
the
a fun
street.
video to do, man.
I need
2018
to rant
is
about
good.
one thing though,
What's
merch
that?
wise. Tell me why Williams got rid of the stupid chili that Carlos always has on his merch. There's always on the like the underside of the cap, he always has a chili there. It's like his thing. He's
Yeah.
been at Ferrari, he had it at
Detail.
McLaren. Now it's gone.
On
I was like, I'm
his
not
merch
buying
on the
that.
website.
On his merch on the website, like his hat on the website. Like I'm not buying that. No. Goodbye.
I guess
Fair.
somebody from branding said no more red. and
And I was like,
no.
go
Yeah.
frick yourself, bro.
That's like Total Wolf said no more calendars, no more ass calendars for both
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Like
okay, but
Total
that's
Wolf.
different. That's like that's like
Well, now tell me if I'm
Negative.
looking at this wrong, but they only have one thing out so far.
okay, but I'm
So there
talking-
could
it's
be
specifically the
more.
hats. Like the hats always had on the
Also,
other on the other side.
$45 for a freaking hat.
Not to mention they also
Formula One's a scam.
No,
The
we know this.
55
You could go
isn't
to
his
the
logo
500 for like no, the 500 sold
quarter
out.
zip
The
or
Indy
something?
500 for like 60. I think GA is
what?
$50 for the Indy 500.
to get into the race?
Yeah, but that's only one
I'm talking
day.
about a hat.
Yeah,
a hat is
so for the
$45.
price of a hat
you could
shipped,
basically
Yeah.
you could go to the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
But that's my gripe because like the Williams hat is expensive. They got rid of the chili and the 55 is not even in his like logo font.
Yeah.
It's just a normal 55.
It's in the standard
Interesting.
font.
It's so
yeah.
like ugh, like get this out of my face.
No, I
please.
agree. I do
They
agree.
they flopped with that. That was biggest flop of the year. Williams merch.
Facts.
Anyways, speaking of Williams, James Vowles confirmed that Franco Colapinto is only on loan to Alpine. They didn't actually like pay him like out of his contract. Which I thought was really funny. I have like the whole quote, but he basically just said that he really wanted Franco to get a chance to race for 25-26
Yeah.
and he wouldn't get a chance to do that at Williams, which basically just they want Carlos.
All because of the
Yeah.
Carlos deal?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
So
Yeah.
why?
It's just a
So
tough
Colapinto
situation.
is like a reserve for both Williams and Alpine right now
I don't know if he's the reserve for
Can't you
Williams.
because
claim
Alpine still
one.
has the contract, right?
Alpine, yeah, well, that's the thing. He's on loan on a multi-year, like we said, I think it was a 5-year deal. So he's on loan for 5 years to Alpine, but ultimately his
So that's
contract is still with Williams.
that's a deal between the two teams.
It's not like he signed. So from what I understand, he didn't sign. Franco Colapinto did not sign a deal with Alpine.
Yeah.
Williams did. Williams signed a deal with Franco Colapinto, and then Williams signed a deal with Alpine to send him there.
Jeez.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I've seen this
like
happen.
Franco signing with a new contract with Alpine.
I've seen this happen in
that
NASCAR
make
before,
sense?
but not like this. What'll happen in NASCAR is a driver will drive for a team and a driver will drive for another team, and after like it's a 6-year deal for both drivers. At the 3-year mark, they switch. It happened with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chris Buescher a couple years ago.
Never heard
Obviously,
that.
that's
Cool.
different, but like,
But this is weird because it's rumored that Doohan is going to get kicked out
Yeah.
and
Right, so then-
Colapinto will go full-time for Alpine.
Yeah, which is funny because then it's like, oh, you're full time for Alpine,
Yeah.
but your contract isn't with them. Your contract is with Williams,
Wonder
and
if he
Williams
could-
signed a deal with Alpine.
yeah.
So like,
Wait, no, I think that makes even more sense because James wouldn't loan him to Alpine if he wasn't getting seat time. He would want him as a reserve in development to do sim work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it must mean that the rumors are true that Doohan is out after 5 races.
which is so sad.
And
That really
Colapinto-
is. I mean, they're
Colapinto
basically
is
setting him
going-
up for failure.
Jack Doohan paid his dues in the paddock. Like he spent a long time in F2, a couple years in F2, spent a long time as a reserve for Alpine, and then he's just getting passed up. Because also like if you really think about it, I feel like if he gets swapped out for Franco, maybe he'll be a reserve. But like my other thing too is like I guess it's like it's obviously it's Formula One. Like all you
Yeah.
want is to race in F1.
Yeah.
But also like if you know it's only gonna be 5 races,
That's
like,
what I was about to
would
ask
you. Not
you,
just
yeah.
sign something else.
Would you even
Yeah.
take the deal?
This is
Yeah.
a trial for
Which means we
Cadillac
could be
F1
wrong,
team.
right?
I
Yeah,
guess.
like,
I guess
this
you
is
want to
it.
show your talents for Cadillac.
This is it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You gotta beat the Minister of Defense.
Did you
now.
see? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see Sergio Perez is on the short list for Cadillac? I was like, get this man out of my face.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't
If I have
he
to
be?
if I have to talk about Sergio Perez in F1 one more time,
Bottas.
I'm gonna lose my shit.
Throw him in
I
there.
will say we're
Colton
gonna be
Herta,
losing
throw
our
him in there.
resident hate on segment this season, unless if somebody
Oh,
else
I'm
fills
sure
those
we'll
big
find
shoes.
someone.
Oh, just wait.
Well, you could,
just
I was
wait.
saying
we
though,
could hate on Perez
I was-
from afar.
I was gonna say this
Absolutely.
later, but I was looking through when I was like writing up my predictions. I was looking through the F1 grid, and there's like very few people on this grid that I hate.
George Russell.
Yeah, you don't like George
Yeah,
Russell.
George
Like
Russell.
I like Oscar. I'm iffy about Lando, but I don't hate him.
You see, that's where the hate
Charles,
energy
Lewis,
is gonna
Max,
go. It's
Liam.
gonna be me defending him and you like lambasting
go.
him.
I don't hate George Russell. That's the thing. I don't hate him. I just don't think he's a tier 1 driver.
Well,
like, we've
that's
been through
where
this.
the hate train.
I don't like
That's where
Lan-
the cauldron gets
I don't
stirred.
like Lance. I don't
They
like
hate
Isaac.
I
Cauldron's
don't
coming
like
out.
Lance. I think Lance has wasted everything to do with that seat for like
I don't like
5
Lance
years
or
now.
Isaac, and then I have mixed feelings about Esteban Ocon. I like him because I think he seems kind of like sweet, and like he signed my phone case outside of outside of racing, like
Yeah.
like when he's like
The
with
ST
fans
bestie.
and stuff. ST Bestie is like top notch. Him and Pierre were the only ones that came off the fan zone both times I went to races and was at the fan zone. Like came down off the stage and like signed stuff. They were the only 2 drivers that did it both times.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you run 12th every race. I mean,
You got a lot of time
So-
in your
you
hands.
got a lot of
Yeah.
time on your hands.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You see Max doing
but
that?
on
You don't
track,
qualify
like-
as long. You only need to do 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah.
you got more time
Yeah.
on your hands.
You guys are
Anyways.
great.
I want to talk briefly before we get into predictions, because it's already like 20 minutes in,
Mm.
about the person who blackmailed the Schumacher family for, I think it was 12 million euros, $15 million, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Oh yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely. This is a huge win for the Schumacher family.
Oh
low-key.
yeah.
It is.
But there's so many aspects of this. Like, I know Steven,
Like,
you
what
put
info
stuff-
did he have?
Yeah.
That
There's a lot
obviously
going on
we're never
here.
gonna know.
Yeah.
You wanna, Steven, I know you put stuff on the sheet about
Yeah,
this.
I mean, basically, the perpetrators, like you kind of said, reportedly demanded $15 million. It was basically a father-son duo with also a former Schumacher bodyguard involved,
Wow.
who were all, demanding $15 million in exposure or for not giving away reportedly, 900 pictures and 600 sensitive videos.
That's insane.
Which is that's insane.
a lot of info.
So that's what.
That's
that
way
has to be-
bigger than the Google Drive to survive that
Yeah.
Christian Horner has.
Yeah.
Like, holy
It's-
crap.
It's gotta be though. Like, to your point, I feel like it has to be something like very, like the bodyguard took gazillion
for sure.
videos over time.
sure.
You know what? I think it probably is because they're so private about Schumacher's condition. It's probably
Yeah.
just of him. It's probably of him going through whatever rehab. It's probably him
Yeah.
in the hospital. It's probably whoever visits him.
I'm willing to bet it's old pictures. Yeah, I'm willing to bet it's like
Yeah, nothing
maybe
like today.
immediate.
Oh, you don't
like-
think it's him in the coma? You think it's him?
maybe in the coma, but like early days of like. The
Yeah, I think
coma.
it's.
Yeah.
I think it's to be okay. This is not to say that people aren't still interested, But I think that you're getting to a point where the newer fans don't really know who he is as much.
That's actually
He's not
true.
really
Yeah.
talked about in the media. He's very kept
It's been
away.
over a decade.
So I feel as though this is probably stuff from earlier when people were still commenting about him in the media for the first several years after he had the accident. That's probably the bulk of where these images come from. And then I'm sure there is some recent stuff. If not, I feel like they would just put out a statement or something.
That like circle around them recent, it's got to be small. It's got to be the doctors, family, and that's maybe some friends. That's it.
I'm
but
sure,
I'm saying
like,
when there was more
Yoss has gone
moving
to see him and
parts,
stuff.
when there was more like, oh, let's get him home. Let's like, you know, like he's still in the hospital. There was still opportunity to kind of maybe get a story or take pictures or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think within maybe the past 5 years, probably little to no access to him in terms of that. Which again is a shame. You bring up a really good point. Is that because if you are a historian of the sport and you're young, you're just getting into it. Yeah, you'll know who Michael Schumacher is. But if you don't,
you might know.
You might hear like during a race weekend, like, oh, so and so just beat Michael Schumacher's record of blah 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 blah. But then you're like, okay, I've never seen him in the paddock. I don't know who that is. You know, like it's interesting. You bring
I think
that up.
some newer fans might know him through Mick.
That's also true. Yeah.
See, we'll talk about. There's two main, or I guess there's three really main figures people talk about in terms of parents.
Yeah.
It's Jos Verstappen because he's so vocal and like always there, and I hate that man.
Still around,
There's Charles's dad because he died, and then I don't know if it was the same day or like a couple days later, Charles won in F2.
Yeah. There's also Papa Perez.
It could also
Papa Perez
just not
bit,
be.
but then Michael, people talk about it a lot with Michael not being able to ever see his son race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think maybe like there's a little bit of fans that like know about him through that. I remember when Mick picked his number 47, he was like, I'm racing 4-7, which is like part of the reason he picked that number or whatever. So, but I don't know. I think it's so sensitive. There was a report that came out from the family that he's saying that he was getting better. Like they were seeing improvements. Like this was like last year.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people that were with him in the paddock that had great relations with. Like I'm sure Jos Verstappen has gone to see him a handful of times.
Sure.
Mick and Max grew up together, like as like best friends, like growing up in the paddock and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who was his what's it called? Like manager at Ferrari? What was his name?
John Todt.
Yeah, John Todt. Like they were really like I know he's like one of the close family friends that gets to see him all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I think all of us are curious. It's human instinct to just have curiosity. You hope one of the heroes of the sport is doing better.
Right.
But fundamentally, at the end of the day, that's a Schumacher family deal.
Yeah.
Where if and when we get information, we do.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think that the fact that they kept it so tight-lipped has fueled people's curiosity?
Yes, absolutely.
Or do you think it's died it down?
No, it's like Area 51.
Opposite
It's
effect.
like when we say, "Oh, we saw this thing," the government's like, "No, you didn't."
Well, the only
it's like,
way.
okay, wait, what?
The only way it would be worse if they were constantly drip feeding news. Like if every month they give an update.
Yeah.
Like if for some reason they did a blog where every month there would be an update.
Yeah.
Even if they said no change and posted that, like people would go crazy on that day of the month whenever that blog posted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, all right, sure, not telling people, to your point, makes people curious, but they could have made it worse.
Well, my point by that is like if you don't tell people, if you're not making headlines from not telling people anything and being it very quiet, then the newer fans don't know about it, and the media kind of dies down around it.
Right.
They're not mentioning it, so I think that's like that could be part of it. But it's like, just in general, like I think that they've kept it so tight-lipped.
Yeah.
People like really want to know. Like I feel like people would kill for a photo of him now.
That's
or
the
even a
reason
photo
why
from
I
10
feel like this
years
even
ago.
happened in the first place. The fact
Like,
that they were, offering
was-
15 mil or wanting 15 million for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Because
just
that's how much
that high
it's worth.
stakes. Yeah.
Like if he were to sell, 600 videos and 900 photos to like a variety of news publications, he'd make more than 15 million.
Absolutely.
It's the context of the severity of like we all understand what can happen on a ski slope, and especially when we hear brain injury and there were rocks. There is like the morbid curiosity of like, ooh, how does he look?
I mean,
like,
just think about the Ken Block situation.
Yeah, Ken Block's another
yeah.
good one. Or even, I mean, this is a little bit morbid. It's getting morbid, but like when Kobe died.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys got to see the
you see
sketch of what
the
his body
autopsy?
looked
I
like.
did not.
He was holding Gianna.
Yeah. There was that.
Like that's like, and the thing too is like, okay, that gets leaked or gets posted on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you I saw something on the internet that said I randomly searched this. I was like, why? For what reason? That's such sensitive information. It should never be on the internet, in my opinion.
People suck.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
fundamentally.
At the end of the day, yeah.
People
Yeah.
do suck.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything has a monetary value, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving away from the morbid, let's do 2025 predictions. I'm so excited
Let's
for
do
this,
it.
actually. Last year, we did decent with predictions. We did terribly with race predictions, but in terms of the overarching season, we did a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we actually have an even harder year to judge now.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree with
it's
that.
kind of a lot harder.
Every
It's
last
definitely
year of
harder.
regs is the hardest, and then the last year and the first year of regs, 2025 season, 2026 season, those two are gonna be the hardest to do
Yeah.
because
I think there's a double
So we're just
combo.
totally guessing for the next couple of years.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next
I think
few
there's a
years.
double
Next year
combo
is
makes it hard.
full
Is
year.
a lot of rookies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And because of last year, the results of what
5
happened,
rookies,
Yeah.
the decline of Red
potentially
Bull's
6.
dominance
Yeah.
makes the field more open.
We
Yeah.
have
So
we have a
it's-
lot of rookies coming in. We have a lot of guys who are potentially on their last contract
Also true.
or potentially moving teams. Max Verstappen.
oh
But yeah, I mean,
Anyways.
there's just a lot up in the air right now.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
absolutely. I want to start with the constructors. Obviously,
Yeah.
we all put Stake as last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's just no hope
Shocker.
right now.
They're just not investing.
but they have Hulkenberg. I got faith.
They're
It's
just not
all
investing.
2026 for Audi.
Yeah.
There's no way Audi's dumping a lot of
Stake
money.
They're not
is
putting
the-
any money in it. Yeah.
They're the
no.
definition of a bridge team. I mean,
Yeah.
you're looking at
Yeah.
it. It's like these guys are gonna be here for what, another year, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, these
Yeah,
guys
next
are going to
year's
be there
Audi.
26.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying
Oh, the drivers.
the drivers, they're going to be there. Your 26 drivers too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if will Stake still be a sponsor for the Audi team?
no,
I don't think so.
it's
I-
a whole
I don't think
it's
so.
not worth it.
Well,
Because
Stake also, I
Stake
know they
has their
have-
complications with their gambling stuff.
Yeah,
have to-
they do
Audi
make a lot of
doesn't
money
need that.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then the variety of that back of the pack for
Yeah.
each of us.
I see that.
Gets
It's
shaken
crazy.
up right away.
It is.
Who wants? Does anybody want to go first?
I can go first.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, we just doing bomb 3 right now, or? we
Let's do
doing?
bottom 5.
Okay, yeah. So Stake, obviously, as we all just mentioned. Then I have Alpine, who I think is going to take a step back. Yeah, they have not two rookie drivers. They have
Well, they have
Pierre
one,
Gasly.
Pierre's still there, yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
Pierre, and then Jack Doohan. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just don't have faith in Alpine, to put it straight
It's
up.
fair.
I mean,
enough.
I think Pierre is going to do okay. I think he's going to do his thing. I just don't think they're going to have a fast car. And we've all mentioned how Jack Doohan is going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I just don't.
I
I just don't
think-
see this going well.
I think that's where Alpine has a moderate advantage is because why not put all of your resources into Pierre then? You know?
Yeah.
Just have that rookie putt around, get some
But
experience.
how good can Alpine really be?
Well, no, yeah,
You know what I
obviously.
mean?
Yeah.
Is all of their effort into one car getting them 10th? Maybe.
I mean, the
but-
recovery this year, 2024 was
Yes,
insane.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like going from
That
clear
last year-
dead last
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
it was
That last-
McLaren.
I mean, they did get pretty lucky though too.
It was
Yeah.
McLaren-esque.
Because what? Where did Ocon
like-
finish in Brazil? He was like
Didn't they get
Yeah.
like 2
Second and third.
podiums this year? That's ridiculous.
No, they
Yeah.
got multiple, more than 2.
Yeah.
That's
I think.
crazy.
I think Pierre got 2 or 3.
That's wild for an Alpine.
Yeah.
Like
And they
Yeah.
still finished, what, 6th?
yeah,
Yeah,
they,
they
finished
they
sixth,
actually
'cause they were after
salvaged a
Aston.
year together. Like this
Yeah.
is crazy.
I mean, as weird as it sounds,
And yeah, I still have them taking a step back to 7th. So.
maybe it's just because there's so many unknowns.
Yeah.
But I have more faith in the rookies, minus Jack Doohan, than I do in Pierre Gasly. That's just me.
That's insane. That's a
Damn.
hot take.
Because
That's a
I
hot
just
take.
think Alpine has its limits, and I think the other teams the rookies are on, I think they have higher students than Alpine does.
Well, that's
Yeah.
crazy because I have Alpine as 6th, but I only say that because I think the teams behind them are all not that good or not going to take a step. Alpine still has factory money from Renault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be okay at the worst.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's actually an easier way to do this. Instead of each going around, we can just Steven, you can keep listing.
Okay.
Oh
yours,
yeah, we got to
Yeah,
go
and
by
then we
team.
can just talk
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah, where we have
Steak,
each
we all
person.
agree they're bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we could
And then-
not cover them. Like,
no.
Jason,
Yeah.
you said you had him 6th. I have
Yeah.
him 7th.
Yeah.
And then, do you also have him 6th, Tristan?
Who's that?
Alpine?
I have them. Oh, where do I have them? I think it's 6th. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
So-
7. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah.
7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7th.
I just don't have faith in them.
I have. Oh, actually, I have them 8th. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think there's such a. I think the reason, like I said, like you mentioned, I think a lot of us have Jack Doohan kind of like leaving the sport,
Yeah.
or at least not continuing that seat. And when you have a switchover, you've got to give that rookie time to adjust, even if that is Franco Colapinto. Franco didn't score. Did he score points?
Yeah, he did.
But it was not many, and he did crash several times. So I do see that second seat being very in limbo the whole year, and
that's
so
the
you're
other
relying
thing,
on
too.
Pierre, which is why I have them 8th, and I guess you have them 9th. But
Well, that was also in the Williams.
There's a lot of moving things, and I just know what Pierre Gassie's going to bring. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Interesting. All right, next you have.
Yeah, I have Haas next.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of the sort of the same thing. I mean, you have Ollie Berman, who I do think is going to have a pretty darn decent year. And then you have Esteban Ocon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Esteban Ocon.
I have Haas 9th for that exact reason.
Yeah.
In what world was it a good idea to make Esteban Ocon Ollie Berman's
That's
first
exactly
F1
my
teammate?
point. It's just
think
it's
you
just
underrate
asking
him.
for trouble.
Yeah.
It really
Underrate
is.
He's just what?
I think you underrate him.
Ollie Berman?
Yeah.
Well, see, here's
No,
the thing
he's a
though.
good driver, but he's still an F1 rookie.
Yeah.
And he's a Haas
I mean,
driver.
Ocon-
And he's
too.
been in 2 seats where
Like both of them.
when he came in, he's been in 2 seats where the person across the garage was someone who wanted to help him. He was there for one
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
They wanted to get the best result possible out of that car.
Yeah.
And they wanted to help him. Charles Leclerc was crucial. Like, he helped him in every way he could when he was at Ferrari for that one race in Jeddah. That's not going to be the case when he jumps in F1. He's like coming in to somewhere where Esteban Ocon's not working together. He's trying to kill you.
Yeah. He's not there to make friends.
Yeah, exactly.
He's there. He's there to win races, and also I don't want to say cause drama because I don't think that's true. But he's there to be Esteban Ocon. I guess that's the best.
That'll
way
be
to
the
put
side
that.
effect. is
Yeah.
cause
Yeah,
drama.
I think I'm the only one that has Haas decently far up, actually.
I have him 7th.
Yeah, I have
Ahead of Williams,
5th.
RB, and
Fifth.
Skate.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Fifth.
So, are you counting on their development?
I do. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm counting on Ollie getting the grips of things quickly, and I'm counting on Ocon being consistent, which I understand that is dumb, but I don't know. I feel like again we kind of saw it in the preseason testing and or the postseason testing, I guess you could say, when they got in the new car. Like, he looked confident. He
Yeah.
looked happy. I think he genuinely was so pleased to be away from Pierre. So I don't know. I'm sensing a sense of rebirth, and also Haas was decent last year.
They were.
I'm really sad that we lost. The duo we had last year. I really liked
I really liked
Haas
that duo,
with Nico and K Mag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But do we think that was the ceiling for Haas though? I mean, I guess.
I don't think so because I
No?
have them doing better this
Okay.
year. Because I have, but there's also I mean, again, I think we're going a little far ahead, but I have Aston and Racing Bulls or RB just tanking,
Yeah, me
sucking
too.
really bad.
Not Aston. I think Aston will be
have-
okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I
They
think
let's
invested
get into
so
that.
much
So-
money.
Yeah.
Steven, you have Aston as, what is that, 7th?
Yeah.
yeah.
I have Aston, I want to say that's 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I have them 8th.
everyone has them decently low.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is crazy because this is what was that, 2022, 23?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was 22 because it was 20. I think that was 2023.
That was 23. Yeah, when
23.
Fernando was
'cause
getting
that's when I was still-
third every
Yeah.
race. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to go from that to even the end of that season, they tanked
Yeah.
so hard.
And then last
and
season.
then last season was terrible.
Yeah.
Again, at what point does Fernando Alonso kind of just cut his losses?
Well, they have
on this?
Adrian
Yeah.
Newey right now.
Yeah,
Right,
mean,
but I
that
don't
is the
think
positive
Adrian Newey is
thing.
going to be instrumental in this year's car. Maybe the end
They
of the
have
year.
Adrian
Yeah.
Newey, but they also have an anchor by the name of Lance Stroll.
I was gonna say.
ready to
Oh,
sink that ship
Stroll.
at a minute's
So hard.
notice.
I
Yeah.
do not perceive Lance having a good
Again,
year.
we need a new
We'll get
king
into
of the
that.
destructors. So there needs a new king that
Yeah.
needs to be crowned. And I understand
Yeah.
we're going to get to the destructors soon,
Yeah.
but I really think that that's going to be such an anchor on that
Yeah,
team.
I mean, I feel like we could see a thing kind of like what Red Bull ran into last year with Sergio Perez,
Yeah.
with the fact they just ran out of money for upgrades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that same thing could happen to Aston, and that could really bring problems for them.
Mhm.
Even if you have Adrian Newey, because at the end of the day, if you don't have money for upgrades, you can't do upgrades.
Build
and
them
then,
car with cardboard.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. RBs.
yeah,
We have the meats.
yeah.
Every time we bring them up, it comes up.
It does. The racing Buzz Lightyears.
There
The
you go.
reason I have Aston above RB only because I think their second half development is going to be decent because of Adrian Newey.
Sure.
the reason I have RBs like above Alpine, above Haas, above Stake, is because I honestly they're gonna use a lot of stuff from last year's Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Max kind of pulled that car along, but to think that they can't even like if they can't even outscore like an Alpine in Red Bull's old car is kind of sad.
No,
like,
I think they won't be able to.
You don't think so?
I have them in 9th. Like
Dang.
Alpine's rate development this year was surprising
I have
towards
faith
the end
in
of the year,
Yuki Tsunoda.
and I don't see RB making.
That's the
that
only
move
thing is
though.
I have faith in Yuki Tsunoda, but I also think Red Bull is kind of panicking and they're going to abandon their baby team to look after their head team because
Oh,
the
yeah.
head team's not doing good.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, there was a period of time like when, for example, like 2023, when Max was totally fine, he destroyed. You know, it was incredible.
Yeah.
And the RB drama was who's going to fill this seat? Is Daniel Ricciardo
Yeah.
going to do well? Like, Red Bull didn't need to worry about their flagship team because they were killing it.
Yeah.
And then they were really taking a concerted effort to make the RB team work, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And now their head team's not working. It's like, okay, well, you guys don't work anyways. So, I don't know. I agree with
Not good.
I agree with Jason at this point. I still think Yuki Tsunoda will do good. I
Yeah.
don't really have faith in Isaac. Right?
I think he's a wild card.
Yeah, I
Isaac
think
Hadjar-
he's a wild
He
card.
is.
Again, though, you look at every rookie and
They
they're
were
all wild
scrambling.
cards.
But I think the reason Isaac Hadjar got that seat was because they were scrambling for someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Like they need someone so bad. And that's the thing. We always talk about how many drivers are waiting in the wings for Red Bull, which
Yeah.
is kind of ironic. Wings. Anyways,
Yeah.
Red Bull gives you wings. Anyways.
I mean, you know the saying, scramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet, right?
I've never heard that, but I love it.
Okay, Dad.
I've never heard that either, but that's really funny. Anyways, there aren't that many drivers left. Like they've like traveled like the last 4 years or whatever. They've shuffled
Yeah.
through so many rookies
Yeah.
that they're kind of scrambling. They're
Yeah.
like, what are we gonna do? And they've brought over people from other teams.
Next
like,
one is gonna be Penelope, like in the round drivers down the chain.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
About that.
about that. I want to talk about Williams.
Yes.
Williams is the most interesting one of this list, in my opinion, because
Because
Jason and
nobody
I
has
have
a-
them so low, and you
You two
guys have
have
them
them-
decently high.
So Jason has them Williams 8th. You have them 9th. Me and Steven have them 6th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, by the looks of it.
Or no, 5th.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3,
You have them
Yep.
5th,
Yep.
and I have them
Fifth.
5th as well.
Great driver lineup, gonna be another bad car.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's
They
exactly
don't
what I
care
was
about
thinking.
this season, which
Yeah,
is what's
that's the whole point.
difficult.
Well, I mean,
They
here's,
care about next season.
here's my thing, though. Look at what Max Verstappen just did with a terrible car.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
put a guy like Carlos Sainz in there. I mean, I think
but
he's
they
going to
didn't
drive the
improve
wheels
last
off.
year. They were worse than the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Albon is not proving
Where did they
any-
finish?
Albano.
Where did Williams finish?
in the total
In the
points?
in the constructors last year.
I don't remember.
Do you know where his nickname comes from, Albano?
I don't know.
Does anybody
Yes.
know? Okay.
He's O negative.
Yes.
Oh.
So on,
on
the
the-
side of his
Okay.
On the carts or like
Williams
on their race
finished
suits, they
ninth.
put like Albon dash O
They finished top
because he was
10.
O negative.
Yeah, Williams finished 9th with 17 points.
That's crazy. The fact that 9th to 17 points shows how far F1 has come too.
Yeah.
Because the past 9th was 0
One
points.
or 0.
1.
Yeah.
There you
maybe.
go.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, this is where the top 4 gets so interesting because
Mm-hmm.
we have
It's
it a
the
little
same
different.
shuffle, essentially, though.
Well,
Mercedes,
You're right,
Red
it
Bull,
is very
Ferrari,
interesting.
McLaren.
okay, so
Two of us has Ferrari champions.
We
and two of us
have-
has McLaren champions.
everyone has Merc 4th.
Yes.
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 Yes, we do.
But then the top 3, I have Red Bull 3rd.
You have Rebel 3rd.
No, I have
Oh, wait,
Mercedes.
no, wait.
I have
Yeah, yeah, he has
Mercedes
Mercedes.
third.
So
I have Red Bull fourth.
George Russell fan club.
Yes, he will
Yeah.
carry the team ahead.
Oh my gosh.
everybody has McLaren or Ferrari for
Yep.
the constructors,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting as well.
I think it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a 50-50 prediction.
Yeah.
Unless future F1 champ Lance Stroll
Wow.
comes in and saves Aston Martin.
But I think
My
that just shows
gosh.
like our top 4 is so consistent. Like those are the top 4. It's the
Yeah.
top 4 and the back of the rest.
Yep.
And we had Aston come in there 23 for a little bit and come out, and like Williams is trying to make strides, and I mean everybody's trying to get the top realistically, right?
Yeah.
But those top 4, they're not going anywhere. Besides maybe Red Bull, because they seem to like really want to escape that top 4 in
Yes.
a negative way.
Yeah.
In a big
So-
way.
Yeah.
You want to do drivers?
Yes, let's move to
Let's do
drivers.
drivers.
Okay.
I'm excited because I love how all 4 of us have a different champion.
Right. Okay. I want to
Wow,
I want
that's
to make
crazy.
this
I didn't
quick-ish
notice
because we have
that.
a lot of things to get to.
Yep.
My big thing Max Verstappen is who I have.
Going back.
But yet you have him in
I have Red Bull
constructors.
third. Red Bull third in constructors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is
So
what
Which
they
is
had
essentially what they did last year.
year.
It's exactly what they did
I
last year.
guess
yeah.
so.
I
yeah.
think that Max is so good at doing consistently decent in a bad car.
Yeah.
And my other thing that contributes to this is, like I said, I have McLaren 1, Ferrari 2.
Yeah.
Those 4 drivers are going to consistently take points off of each other. If Max can
Valid.
consistently finish third, that's enough. In a year which I am foreseeing to be so tight between those top 4 teams, if you can win 3-4 races and then consistently finish on the podium or right off of it, that's enough.
It's
And
a game
that's-
of consistency.
It is. So that's what I have. That's the reason I have.
I will say his
shot
biggest
there.
hindrance, though, is he will need to win some races, though.
Yeah.
He definitely
But
will.
you got to get lucky a couple times in the year.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a very good race car driver. I would argue he got somewhat lucky in Brazil.
Yeah.
Very minorly because he
A lot of
destroyed.
talent.
Like, he was
Yeah,
very
it
good.
a lot of talent.
Well, y'all are underestimating Lewis. You all have him 5th. I have him winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
wild.
Wait. Okay. So
That is
I have
wild.
him, again, if we were to look into 2026, I think that will be the year.
yeah.
I
well,
have
that's
an
assuming
intro year at
have
Ferrari
good.
being good, but
Yeah.
not.
That's a logical thing, but that's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not any
So,
fun at all.
I'm gonna
Oh,
walk
sorry.
through-
I mean, he almost did it his rookie year with McLaren, so
It's true.
anything could happen.
I'm gonna go through the rest of my top 5, and then we'll each do our top
Go
5
for
for
it.
this one. I have Charles second.
Mhm.
I think he's coming with revenge for not getting second this year.
Yep.
And I think that Lando and Oscar are going to have the best car, and they're going to take points off each other, which is why I think they're third and fourth. Then I have Lewis fifth. I think it's going to take him a little bit to get acclimated to Ferrari after spending so much time at Mercedes and their processes and their like the easy basic stuff that are kind of ingrained in you from a certain team.
Yeah.
I think that's going to take him a second. So that's what I have.
There you go.
That's
Jason.
valid.
Well, I have Hamilton champion because, like I said, he almost did it his rookie year in F1.
Yeah.
Like, never been racing a full season yet. And he tied with his 2-time world champion teammate. So, Hamilton, finally, this year's our year. Norris second because he's good and McLaren will be fast again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chuckles LeGreg third because he's
Same
good.
concepts, yeah.
Yeah.
Team will
If
be
you say
quick
tier
and
1
he's
driver
good.
George Russell, I'm going
Well,
to lose it.
He's the only
I
one that
always
has George
say
in the
it,
top
so
5.
it
I
has to be
already
tier
say
1
it.
Russell George driver, right? I said that backwards.
The fact that you have Max fifth is
So he's fourth.
crazy to
And
me.
Max fifth because tier Russell driver 1 George Russell
Say
is
the
gonna
whole
Ah,
thing
be
yes,
backwards.
English,
Gonna
my
be
favorite
fourth.
language.
right. Sorry,
Okay.
because you banned me from saying tier 1, so I had to say tier George Russell, Total Wolf,
All right.
MasterCard, Visa, Pay Now, Apple Tap to Pay.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I just rated Visa Cash App RB's new name next year. All right, continue.
All right,
Right.
Tristan.
So mine, I'm rolling with Charles. He's finally going to take a championship. I think this is the year Max will get dethroned. If it's not this year, it'll be next. But I really have faith that Charles will come back with vengeance. I do have Max P2 though, because I
Okay.
still believe the Dutchman will show up in a big way.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that has Oscar over Lando. I have Oscar P3 and then Lando P4.
I could see it.
I
but
I think everybody could reasonably see it,
I could see it. The only
but it is different.
yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
it is different. I think it's interesting.
And then like everyone else,
Oh,
except for
Oscar ahead of
Jason.
Lando.
Yeah, like
I-
Lewis P5.
Has anyone ever done 5 in a row? Did Michael?
Michael did 4, didn't
Yeah,
he?
no, he did.
Did Michael do 5?
No, he did only
Seb
4.
did 4. So this would be historic if he
Yeah.
could do
Wait,
5
no,
in a row.
no. Michael did 5 in a row.
That's what I was
It
gonna say. I
was
thought Michael did
2000.
2001,
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
5
so
in a
that's
row.
five.
Yeah, because
yeah.
5 and 6
Oh.
was Fernando.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did
All
do
right, so
5.
he did 5 in a row.
That's a big number though. Like to
That
be
is a
consistent
huge
for that
number.
many years
Absolutely.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when the challenge is only getting harder.
Yeah.
Well, it started hard, got easy, and is now getting harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Steven.
Yeah. So I got the McLaren special.
There you go.
I got Lando 1, Oscar 2. I just think looking at it, I think McLaren's just the most robust. I don't know if
Consistent
robust is-
team. Like,
Yeah.
robust is, robust
Yeah,
is a good word.
okay, yeah, robust team. I just think you look at all the other ones; they all have question marks. I think you
Yeah.
got Max with a new teammate,
That's a good point.
you got Charles with a new teammate, and you got Lewis, of course.
Yeah.
I think you got the most experience between two drivers here. I think we're gonna rewrite papaya rules here. I think we're gonna have Lando and Oscar just bully everyone
Papaya
else.
rules will be the downfall of McLaren. You heard it here first.
That is it's going to be that. It's either that or they will make it work. Like
See, because the thing is, my thing, Papaya Rules has rarely taken points away from McLaren. They've just taken points away from
each
individual
other.
drivers.
Yeah.
So, that's why, like, I think that Charles can make that step.
Well,
because if you, like, for example, right, Max is usually pretty decent around Monaco when he has a balanced car.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time
Charles
he's
is
been
really-
on pole in Monaco? It's been years.
Right, but he won in Monaco in 21 and 22? I could be wrong.
Well, Monaco was
Fact
without the
check me
pole
on.
position. Yeah, he won in 2023 with pole,
So,
right?
like, that's one of the tracks, like Monaco and certain, like, even like Baku sometimes. If you can get the lead and hold it,
Yeah.
you don't even have to start on pole. If you can get the lead, like, from a pit stop and hold it, it's going to be one of those races where, like, Max could take it or Charles could take it, and it could really be the difference,
Yeah.
I think, at the end of the day. So,
Well, I
don't
think
know.
I think two McLaren's just gonna have such a better car than everyone else. I just think it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
all right.
That's what my thing
I don't
is.
know. All right, Destructors.
Fun time.
It looks like a lot of us have Isaac Hadjaw.
Yep.
He's just an unknown.
Yeah,
So
That's
no,
basically
it's
why I
valid.
threw him
It's
in.
valid.
Rookies.
All three of us has Stroll as the most destructive destructor.
Oh, I don't have.
Yes.
I didn't put them in order. I just put 3 drivers.
Oh, I put
him
I
in
put mine in
Oh,
order.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I also have Stroll on
Everybody
mine.
has Stroll. No matter what.
And it looks
yeah.
like most of us have. A lot of us. Oh, me and Jason have Jack Doohan.
I
And
can't
here you see
believe-
rocket powered Mohawk. Well, he calls Stroll and window licker, and like,
Oh my god.
like it
Oh,
starts at
window
like
licker's
car level, like classroom level window licking, to like car ride level window licking, to bus level window licking, to
Wow.
like plane level window licking,
Dude,
and
what
then like intergalactic levels of window licking.
What am I listening
Yeah,
to
I was
right
to say,
now?
what is this?
I think
No,
it's surprising that
I think he's going intergalactic again this year.
You
so
think
I'm
so?
trying to say.
I think it's
Yeah.
surprising you're the only one that has Esteban and Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think Esteban's going to be Esteban. And I think Liam, I know we've talked about before, you have 2 drivers, and that's the other thing with the McLaren thing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both respectful, I would say. But the thing is about Liam and Max, we've talked about before, they're both drivers who do not give a F
No.
about each other.
Liam is
In
not
the-
going to do that.
Yeah,
this year.
I was gonna say
I doubt it.
Liam.
He's not even on my
If
list.
Liam touches Max, he loses a seat immediately.
It's true.
But
It's
who
true.
are they going to put in the car?
There's no,
Penelope?
like-
Well, okay, it's not
Is Helmut
necessarily...
Marko coming back?
No, they're just gonna
Like,
switch him. They're
It's-
gonna give him. You've got one shot
You're
to
going to
prove
put
yourself.
Hadjar
Yeah.
in there?
You're gonna put Yuki in there.
They're not putting Yuki in there.
I think it'd be...
Anyways.
It'd almost be worse if...
I think
Yuki in
every.
there,
All right,
I
let's
think.
back it up for a second.
Who's the Red Bull reserve driver?
I think it's crazy, and none of you guys have Albon in your list.
He was number 1 this year, was he not?
I
think he was.
Yes, was it him or Sergio?
No, it was. Oh, Sergio was 1 and Albon was 2. I
2,
think.
yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
not even
and-
Lance. That's bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. None of you
yeah.
guys have Albon in your list.
really-
I don't know.
I don't
I have
know.
faith that Carlos is going to do something well for him.
Yeah, I think that Albon. I think he talked about this. I've talked about this podcast that he did. I think it was the High Performance Podcast so many times at this point. It's just kind of ingrained in my brain what he said. But he's talking about like outdriving the car because it's a bad car, and so you're trying to do everything to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And you end up overdriving the car and end
Yep.
up in the wall. And I think that Carlos Sainz will be able to make steps in that Williams
Yeah.
that I think will make it easier to drive. And therefore,
Yeah.
Albon will probably be 4th or 5th in the Destructors. instead of
Sainz
being
has
number
driven
3.
for a lot of teams too, at the front and back of the grid.
Yeah.
Every team Sainz has driven for
He's made
is
better.
he's made better. Yeah.
Toro Rosso, Renault.
Took steps after he left.
Yeah.
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 So
Well, my
don't
my
know.
thing with Liam too, I think I'm not going to say he's going to I take back him he's going to do it with Max. He's going to do it with other drivers, I think. I think there's going to come a point cuz I think he's short fused a bit.
oh yeah.
And I think that you put him in other battles, he's going to, not back off and that's going to cause problems.
Sure.
Yeah, but other people in the top 5 will back off.
Yeah.
They have more to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's assuming he'll be in the top 5 though.
Yeah. Speaking of Liam, Rookie of the Year. Does Liam count?
I mean, technically he does.
Technically,
This
yeah.
is
I'm a
a
rookie,
full
right?
season.
Yeah, it's technically. Yeah.
I have sneaky. I think everybody has Ollie Behrman. I have Gabriel Bortoleto. I think he's first of all,
Brazilian
he's-
bias.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Brazil.
You don't even know what you're talking about. He has won. He, like Oscar Piastri, has won every category. First try, F3, F2, now in F1. Oscar Piastri, did he not win Rookie of the Year his first year? in F1?
Yeah, he did.
I think so.
Oh. So maybe there is some thought behind it besides Brazilian bias.
Brazilian bias.
Get wrecked.
I watched Rio a couple nights ago. It was really good.
I love that movie. Anyways, tell me why you'll have Ollie Behrman, because I just don't see it. Like,
I mean, just look at what he did with Ferrari. I mean,
with Ferrari, like, this is a
but
Haas. Everyone's saying it's terrible.
Although she made a really great point, is both of his teammates in that situation had to help him and were willing to help him.
Yeah.
This upcoming season, they're competitors, which could change things.
Yeah.
But Behrman, like,
I think he has the talent.
He showed random flashes in F2, but just because you aren't good in F2 doesn't mean you can't be good in F1.
Sure.
And he's proven himself to be
He finished,
good in
I
F1.
think, just barely. Like, there were a lot of points in the F2 season where he was higher in the F1 rankings than he was in F2.
Yeah, but F2 isn't
Just
F1.
saying.
yeah.
It's true.
Just saying.
And he likes the higher speeds.
And I think Haas will be pretty good, so that kind of does it.
That's
You know?
the thing.
Haas
I
will
think
be good.
I would say Ali has the highest ceiling out of all the rookies.
I think the
too.
realistic choice is Liam, but I think the hopeful choice.
Well, we're all forgetting about Fernando Alonso.
Forget about Fernando
Oh my
Alonso.
gosh,
He
you're
ran
right.
Rookie of the
Known
Year of the
rookie.
Indy 500.
There you
Like,
go.
Yeah.
he didn't even finish the race. That's how good he was.
That's crazy.
Okay. Biggest good surprise.
Do you want to go in order for this?
Yeah, you want to lead us off, Marina?
I think Red Bull is going to start the year off with potentially one of the worst cars they've had in a long time.
Agreed.
They've spoken publicly about their poor development and the recent rule changes that are going to negatively affect them. But I do think that they are a team that works really hard. They have for so long been at the top of their game. Several people in that team have come out about how Max being so consistent and so good has pushed the team to be better as well, because they want to be up there. They want to have the best car. So I do think that they will have a positive development curve post summer break, and they will get better. So even if Max is third or they're not doing well constructors wise, I think they will have an uptrend in the end instead of a downtrend like this year. So that's my biggest concern.
I would. Anybody
don't
want to add
know.
anything?
I would say Christian. That's his first name, right? Am I getting it right?
Christian
Newey?
Horner,
yeah.
No.
Adrian Newey.
Adrian, that's what it was. Adrian Newey. I think that's gonna be a huge loss for them.
Right, but you have people that trained under Adrian Newey.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not him, but
I do think they will get better. I just don't think it will be like exponential. I think you're
don't
gonna
know.
I think
He
you're
will.
gonna see the loss, if you will, of Checo Perez. I think that's gonna help for sure.
The loss?
the
Yeah.
loss. He said the loss of Checo Perez is helping.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's gonna be
I
bad.
think-
it'll
Yeah.
help. It won't
Yeah.
hurt the team. I thought you meant the loss of
Yeah.
cheeky Checo. was
No,
gonna hurt.
no.
All right, Jason.
I think Lawson's going to be good. I think he has a real chance to stop the stigma, the curse of the second seat, because Albon was forced in it. Gasly was forced in it. Both of them failed immediately.
But they're
Perez
both
was
race
forced in
winners.
it.
Or
Well,
Albon's not.
yeah, but
they're
they're-
both great at where they are now.
They're cursed then in the Red Bull seat. They're
Yeah.
really bad.
That is a curse seat,
And
Yeah.
for sure.
Perez almost ended it. Perez's first year in the seat, incredible. Like, he
But, yeah,
helped Max win that championship.
think about how hard it is mentally to always be second best. You can never, like, there have been races.
Bottas did it for years, though.
Yeah,
Bottas is
but
the
Bottas
greatest number 2
it's
driver
different.
of all time.
Yeah.
It's much different. I think these
Or
drivers are still trying to
Barrichello.
prove themselves. They're still trying to be the best.
Barrichello was a
And-
number 2 for multiple different champions,
For
like
real.
Schumacher and Jensen.
But,
That's
like,
pretty impressive.
how demoralizing is it at
Oh, it
this
is.
age? Like, how old is he? 26?
Well, the upside is like
To
this is a rookie
always
year.
be 3/10 behind Max Verstappen.
This is his
Yeah.
rookie year.
for everyone, and especially
Yeah.
at that time, like for Pierre and for Alex, he wasn't even a world champion. Like, Max was still very good. It's still the Max we see today on track a lot. He's matured a lot and he's gotten much better, but he wasn't even a world champion back then, and he was still 3/10 like ahead of everybody, all of his teammates. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Tristan, I love this one.
Mine's pretty simple, but I think it's cool. I have Ferrari winning both of the Italian races. If I was to pick, I think Lewis will win Emilia Romagna, and then Charles will win Monza. That's my guess.
I like it.
That's
I
solid.
think it's a fun little thing.
I think it's
I
a fun
really
guess, yeah.
I think it would be cool if the new Italian driver won one of the races in Italy, and then obviously Charles wrapping it up by winning the second one. I think it'd be cool. It's just a cool little good surprise I was looking for.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Steven?
Yep, I have Ollie will finish with multiple top 10s this year. And I think he's going to build off the success of Hulkenberg and Magnussen.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I just think that Haas is going to be not bad at all. I mean, I think Ollie's going to really carry that team, as weird as it sounds. So I think he's going to have multiple top 10s. He's going to get some points for that team, and Haas is going to be on the rise.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
Well, I think biggest flop we've kind of already addressed. I mean, Jack Doohan will likely get replaced, so I have him as my driver's biggest flop. And then Stake, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about Alpine. Everyone, Jason has Sainz as his biggest flop, and it really confuzzles my brain. So
That hurts
do you
my
want to
heart.
explain that one?
Because the Williams isn't going to be that good, and he's going to be on a new team. You see, when I think flop, I think what would be surprisingly bad. Like, whose expectations are pretty high, and if they don't meet them, it's going to hurt.
His
And
expectations
I did my
are
driver
high.
as Science because he has pretty high expectations as a skilled driver, a veteran driver in a team that's on the up. But like we said, Williams might not be that good next year.
Yeah.
It's true.
And then I have Alpine as my constructor. Again, another team which I think still will do pretty good next year.
But I think they have expectations.
Yeah, their expectations are massive. They have investment. They bought back Flavio after he's been banned from F1 for a few years.
gosh.
Like, man, that team is ripe for some craziness. So their expectations are too high, and their finishing will be too low.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's valid.
All right, Jack. Everybody has Jack Doohan is most likely to lose his seat, except for Tristan.
Yeah. I wanted to be different. I said, because we've talked about this before. I mean, there is a hint, a flash even, where maybe there's a backdoor deal where Red Bull doesn't have Lawson finishing the whole season. They switch halfway for Sonoda.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that I went off of really, and I just would hope for it to be real because I think we're also
It could happen.
It could happen. Yeah.
Not
Red Bull's done it before. They did it with Max.
It's
and
not
Daniel
like
Kvyat.
Lewis is going from Mercedes to Ferrari. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. I just don't think it'd be good for Snow's career at all.
What?
Interesting.
Well, just because I don't see him as a number 2 type of driver guy. I don't see him that way.
He's always been the number 2
I
driver.
fully see him as a number 2 type.
What
driver.
but I'm saying, does he want to be a number 2 driver?
Obviously,
I don't
He's
think
always
so.
gonna
nobody
be.
wants to be.
No.
But he's always going to be. There's no way he becomes a number 1 driver. Not unless he takes a huge demotion.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
isn't he,
not the number. He's barely the number 1 driver. Like, I would say him and Isaac are like equals
Really?
at RB right now.
Anybody remember
Absolutely. No one
Bottas
likes him.
2.0?
He's leaving.
It was like he was clean shaven, buzz cut in his first year at Mercedes. And 2018 he came out with a beard and I think he came in second. No, he didn't even come in second in the first race of the season. But it was like, oh, this year he's gonna win the championship. 2018 was like his worst year compared to
Cool.
Lewis.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen for Tsunoda anytime soon.
All right, number of different race winners. It looks like most of us have 6
We're pretty
or 7.
consistent. Yeah.
Pretty consistent. Everyone has Lando, Max, Charles, etc.
So that's at least 3 or 4 teams.
yeah.
The fact
winning a
that 2 of
race.
you have one. Well, the fact that Steven has Carlos Sainz winning a race,
Yeah.
and you have Jason. You have Kimi Antonelli winning a race blows my brain.
What's crazy is that my list is
I have
most
Russell
realistic.
and Antonelli.
Oh, absolutely. I think my list is most realistic.
Steven,
One
where's George?
unexpected.
Why is
Where's
George not on
George?
your list?
I think George is taking a
Even
step.
Marina has the George on your list.
I think George is taking a step back this year.
Tier
Marina,
1
who's
driver?
I
Who's
really
your
do.
unexpected if you had to take a guess?
I don't know. So here's the thing, right? Because I think that every season needs that one race where, like, Pierre Gasly wins in Monza or Daniel Ricciardo wins
Yeah,
in
Or
Monza.
yeah.
Lance
something.
Stroll finally
Lan-
wins a race.
So I think that's my thing. Is
my
like I think that we'll have
Lance Stroll
the
wins Canada.
normal 6, right?
The Lance Stroll grandstand is going crazy.
All 2 of them.
Because again, I have Ferrari and McLaren having the best cars. So Lando and
Yeah.
Oscar, Charles and Lewis have to win races. Those
Yeah.
4, that's like a must for them.
yeah.
And then obviously Max has to win a race. He's the reigning world champ. Even if Red Bull doesn't have a great car, he's still expected to win races next year. So that's 5. And then
Yeah.
I have George as the sole Mercedes. Again, not expecting that car to be great, but he pulls out wins almost every season.
Yeah.
That's
so
why
far.
he's so good.
So
There's also competitive
And then
teams
my one
that have
unexpected.
the one like it could be Lawson. Or
exactly.
It could be like
Lawson,
Antonelli.
could be Kimi,
yeah.
could be
Yeah.
in a competitive car.
yeah, exactly. Could be someone in Aston. God forbid there'd be like a mega crash or something,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So that's why that's my like one unexpected. It's like 6 plus somebody.
Yeah. I get that.
All right, random crazy prediction. This is probably not crazy in any sense, but I have RB with more than 3 teammate collisions.
I don't think that's crazy.
No.
I mean, I agree. I do think, it will be crazy if it happens. But, like, I sit here thinking, oh, my God, it will happen.
Isaac Hadjaw and
It'll be
Yuki Tsunoda,
fun.
like, hitting each other?
Yeah,
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Isaac Hadjaw should have won. He was on form. He should have won F2 last year. He should have. But
he didn't.
he was not consistent enough.
No.
So.
Nor.
Jason?
I have Lance Stroll's last year being this year, and that's a crazy prediction because his
Dad
dad
owns
owns
the
the
team.
Is
Yeah.
Lawrence selling the team?
No, I don't think he'll sell the team. I think it'll just be pressure for some other people because it's not just like Lawrence doesn't have the whole team in his pocket,
No.
nor does he
Right.
have
No.
Aston Martin in his pocket, nor does he have all their sponsors. Like Aramco isn't looking at Lance Stroll as their next brand ambassador. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true.
So-
That's true.
And Lance doesn't need the money either, so he's never gonna do it.
No.
So I think external stakeholders, other directors of the team principal, even Mike Crack, Martin Whitmarsh,
Yeah.
you know,
They'll want him out.
everybody else is gonna want him out, and
Yeah.
eventually Lance is gonna. Lawrence, the father, is gonna look at the board and say, "Yeah, it makes sense. Like he's
Yeah.
my son, but this is a business, and I need to serve you guys. I
Yeah.
can't do
That's
this."
got
you
to
know?
turn
Yeah.
into an F1 movie, I
Because
swear.
the man Lawrence doesn't bring over Michael Kors from Europe and
Yeah.
let his son run the company,
Yeah.
which is what's happening right now. So eventually something's gonna break, and Lance is gonna, I don't know, be in Le Mans. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no clue.
Or just
Maybe.
take over, like, family business. Like, run the F1 team.
Hey, Lance driving
Yo,
the...
Lance team principal would be crazy.
Oh my.
That's
That
not
would
what
be
I meant,
wild.
but okay.
Oh, you
I
meant
just
he would
meant
be
like,
like
on
the
the
owner?
on management side, yeah, on the CEO side maybe.
Part of his
He
Tristan,
would add windows to car to look.
we gotta run through this. 'cause
Window manufacturer.
All right.
We're getting.
Tristan's
on
crazy
time.
prediction is Max will not be on the podium until race 4.
See, that doesn't shock me at all because, like I
No.
said, I don't
I
know.
was going to say it kind of goes with what you said. You think they're
Dang.
going to scale later.
Yeah.
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 But I do think it's crazy to think our potential, what's it called, 4-time this would be, what, 5 in a row? 5-time in a row champion potentially won't be winning a race or even on the podium until race 4.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? When was Lando Norris's first podium last year?
Was it Miami? No.
Imola?
I don't know. Somebody find out.
Really
for
early
me.
on.
I don't know that it was. I think it was right around there, 3-4 races.
Yeah.
Because, I think other people were on the podium earlier.
It was Australia. He came in 3rd.
Wow.
Was that what race 3?
Hey, we
Race
watched that
3.
live together.
Right, but that was because he came 3rd. Because
Yeah,
Max didn't
Ferrari
finish,
went,
so it
yeah.
would have been 4th.
So
What
then
was
the
the next
Whoa,
time?
It
what
would have
would've
been
whoa.
China. China, he came in 2nd.
What race is that?
That's the 5th one.
Okay,
Very next
so let's think that's
No,
3 and
it
5.
wasn't.
So if you think realistically,
Mm-hmm.
I think Max Verstappen in Lando Norris' position last year, had the situation been reversed, Max still would have won the championship because he is ultimately a better driver who doesn't buckle under pressure like Lando Norris. I said what I said. Now,
You can say that. It's okay.
say the situation is reversed, Max doesn't get on the podium until 3rd, 4th, 5th race of the season.
Yeah.
That doesn't count him out.
No.
Not unless the same driver wins every.
There's
of
so
those
many
races. And they
races.
Max pretty much did.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
this isn't 12 race season.
Exactly.
This is
That's my point.
24.
So,
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, Steven.
Yep. I have Kimi will have at least one podium next season.
I don't feel like that's crazy.
he's
I think
going to
it's too
learn
crazy.
from the master, George
Well,
Russell.
here's my
Tier 1
thing. I
driver.
do think they're gonna be very close. I really do.
I think Kimi will be like a consistent like 5th.
Yeah, I feel like George. This is maybe a hot take. I don't know. George doesn't win a race next season. I think I already said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But yeah, I think they're definitely. I don't know. Just something in my heart's like Kimi's gonna do well. George is gonna do bad. I don't know.
Interesting.
you need to get your heart checked.
All right.
Race of the year.
Rapid fire, best race of the year. I got Brazil.
I think we all have solid choices. So.
Britain.
I have Italy, which is specifically Monza.
Yeah,
and Steven has
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
I
The
just
final
think
one.
the last race this season is gonna be insane. You're gonna have the most on the table. You're gonna have like a 3-way.
Yeah.
Maybe
Drivers'
constructor,
Championship.
drivers. Ooh.
Okay.
And
Well,
yeah.
that's
And we're
all
gonna
the predictions,
have
which is
Lance
crazy.
Stroll
We kind of
winning
rapid
the
fired
race.
that.
We
end
tried.
part.
It was a lot of content.
It was a lot of content.
Yeah.
It was like an hour or something long.
If you actually watched it to this point, comment below. I watched till the end.
Yeah.
I finished. the
Any
Lights Out
other
Race
hot
challenge.
takes you want to throw out there now? Make them set in stone.
Also, throw them in the comments if you have any.
Oh, I was gonna say this
Yeah.
earlier. It's not really a hot take, but it really sucks we're not gonna be able to watch the F1 movie together because it comes
No.
out in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's like forever ago. Like meaning we talked about that like an hour ago.
An hour
but, like,
ago,
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole 50 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
it's so sad.
You
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
We can not watch it over the summer and then pirate it, but then we wouldn't be able to make content.
This is
so.
true.
Anyways, if you made it this far,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. We shall
Bye.
see if at the end of this season we are looking back and being like, damn, we were so wrong, or maybe we were so right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
see.
So many unknowns this season. I think this will be a season kind of like last year where we're not in here. Well, hopefully we're not in here talking about the same race winner every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it is Max Verstappen, then I approve.
Of course.
But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next Monday, as always, at 11:30 Eastern Time. In the meantime, check out our socials, Instagram and TikTok at Lights Out Latest. And stay tuned on our YouTube for a special interview with Michelle, who works at the U.S. Golf Association, for insights into working in the sports industry. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.